All right, welcome back to another Wright Stew podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I am Brian Wright. We made it to Friday, and we made it past opening day.
Man,
The White Sox.
What a time to be alive. Opening, gosh, it just feels great, doesn't it? Baseball, we're back, baby. We're back.
Hey, the White Sox are not eliminated. You sent me that meme. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The White Sox are
somebody sent it to me, yeah.
And they won. They won yesterday.
Pull one out, 8-1, man. Didn't even won convincingly, 8-1, solid victory. Our brew crew, my son and I were Brewer fans. Went down. Devin Williams, former Brewers closer, shut him down. Came in. Devin Williams has got a little bit of Mitch Wild thing Williams in him, where he likes to get some runners on base and then likes to get out of trouble. I heard John Smoltz actually talking about like the save as a statistic and the closer as a role. And he said, like, look, in a closer's role, ERA does not matter. Finishing the game with the lead is what matters. Like getting those final 3 outs before how many ever runs score. He's like, you can't worry about all that other stuff. It's about getting those outs. And I know you and I are both coaches, right? And as managers of the big league, I think you prefer the less stressful, like that sort of thing. But and speaking of the Brewers game, Jackson Chourio coming into his sophomore year, big spring training, man, had a really good spring. High expectations through the roof. Starts the year 0-5, Brian, with 5 ponchados. Now, we were talking about
we had to look it up what it was. I knew 4 golden sombrero. So tell us, Paulie, what is 5 called at this point?
Yeah, so what we're talking about. So if you strike out 3 times in a game, it's called the hat trick. And we know the hat trick. People in hockey know the hat trick. You throw your hats on the ice. 4 strikeouts is the golden sombrero. 5 strikeouts, it is either termed the platinum sombrero or the Olympic rings, because there's 5 Olympic rings.
The one I liked that I know you were joking, and so take it for what it is, suicide watch. When you said, I was like, and I know, hey, take it for what it is. It's a joke, but dude, I probably have had I know I've had some too. And I
have you ever had a 5 strikeout night?
No, I don't think I've ever had. I may have had 1 3 in pro baseball, never a 4, never a 5.
Yeah.
But dude, they're facing some really good arms.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Almost.
He's facing Carlos Rodon to start with, Devin Williams to finish. I mean, and some good pitchers in between. But man, again, we follow the Brewers a little closely in the Stewart household, and Chourio was doing it in the spring, and then. Yeah, but
hey, tell me this: how? I know you didn't get to see the whole game, but tell me how did Rodon look?
Look good, man. Throwing strikes, working ahead. I think gave up a home run, but look good. Look like a #1 starter, but he's going to be, I think, not the true ace, right? Yeah, Garrett Cole was supposed to be in there, but Rodon gets the nod, and they got Max Fried in that rotation as well. So yeah, that's going to be a great 1-2. I mean, if you had Cole in there. Certainly, that's a really good. I mean, Rodon is your 2 or 3, or Fried is your 2 or 3. Man, that is rock solid. But what else jumped out to you, Brian, on opening day? Any other numbers, performances, wins, anything else jump out to you?
I haven't dug into it because I'm not a good host of the Wright Stew, but I'll say there's so much optimism. That's what I like about the first week, maybe month of the season. Just optimism. At the time, obviously we have to record this at different times, but Detroit, I know whether they end up holding on, but we're giving the Dodgers all they wanted. They may not go undefeated. The Dodgers may not this year. I like the fanfare of just the stadiums are so full early in the season. It's such a different atmosphere when there's fans in the crowd. Obviously, we recognized it from COVID days. But, I think there's a lot of good young players, and the reality is we know who's going to be good, and I still think the teams that we mentioned earlier, the Dodgers, the Braves, Phillies, all those will be there from the NL side, but there's going to be one that sneaks in there, and you're like, where'd they come from?
Maybe maybe the Pirates blew a lead, but with Jared Jones and Paul Skeens at the top of that rotation, that's again two
Really good guys.
legit big time arms. That's really good. Let me tell you something else that hit the radar on opening day. Tyler O'Neill with the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on opening day, but extended his own record for home runs on opening day. That was his sixth straight opening day where he hit a dinger. So he started the streak and back with the Cardinals in 2020. 4 years in a row did it with the Cards, was with the Red Sox last year, and then this year with the Orioles. So 6 straight seasons, Tyler O'Neill with a opening day home run.
I wonder if I don't see why he's never really found a home. He's had some pretty good years. Like,
Yeah, was with the Cards for 4 years and Sox last year, O's now. So I don't know if he's becoming a journeyman or what it is. Some massive arms. Wish I had those arms, but
yeah, he definitely works out in
looks
season.
good in a uniform. Good looking.
He does. He does. He passed that test for sure. But it's just weird. Like, it just doesn't seem like he's ever. I don't know. Like, what makes? I got a question for you. Like, we think about Mookie, we think about Ohtani, and there's Ohtani's obvious. But what makes like a cornerstone? Obviously, there's stats that come involved. But what makes a cornerstone guy, right, for an organization? How would you decide that if you were, hey, this is the guy we're going to kind of build around and add to, not get rid of and add other pieces?
Yeah. Well, Brandon Hyde was talking about Tyler O'Neill. And so Tyler O'Neill's Canadian, played actually opening day in Canada. So he was really pumped about that, right? Playing in front of some from friends and family, the hometown sort of thing. Said he actually brought some Tim Horton donuts, a couple boxes of donuts to the clubhouse before the game to share with the boys. So everybody appreciated that. But Brandon Hyde mentioned he's a hard-nosed guy, loves how he plays, loves how he interacts with his teammates, all those sort of things. And it's got to be tough, right? Because as a manager, it's still a ball. It's a game. It's a game. It's entertainment. You're trying to, but there's a lot of money involved. You're trying to win. Every pitch matters. Every out. Yeah, and that's why you see some of those managers and way back in the day just would argue about everything because it was all on the line. And now with replay and video, you don't have to be as as grumpy as some Bobby Cox and play guys like that. Um, but to your question, Brian, I think some of it is clubhouse presence, right? I think you've seen throughout history some guys stick around a little longer than they probably should have. Maybe give it a younger guy a look or a shot or some ABs. It was even talked about like with Kyle Ripken during his streak. It's like, is it detrimental to have Ripken in the lineup every day? And once his streak was over and he started taking days off, do you know what happened?
I don't recall.
He actually had a little boost in productivity for the next couple of years because he was getting regular days off. Again, I'm not answering your question, Brian. I'm just kind of talking right now. But for me as a manager, all right, so one, obviously productivity, right? Somebody who's driving in runs, hitting for a high average, getting on base. Somebody defensively who is average at best, not a liability. If they're a liability, they've been hitting the ball really good. And then again, a good guy in the clubhouse, right? And some of that too. Baseball, you have the luxury of letting guys work through some slumps, right? Let guys figure it out a little bit, give them a chance. And as a manager, you've got to instill that confidence in them, and you've got to let them like, hey, you are my guy, right? And again, I don't know how you determine that. Some of it's handed to you, like, hey, this guy's getting paid a lot of money, you got to put him in there.
Right.
But it was interesting too. So you go back to like the Moneyball movie, and remember Billy Beane was telling Art Howe like, you're going to play this guy, and Art Howe was like, really? I'm the manager. Like you give me this lineup, I'll do the best I can with it. And yeah, it worked out for Billy Beane that year. But at the same time, I think there's that's kind of more a part of the game. So at this point, I think a lot of it comes down to what the nerds are telling you, man. What the nerds are telling you. So
I think that is, and that's the reason I was curious. Like it used to be nothing, and not even really that long ago. Like you, Garrett Anderson, he was a kind of a mainstay with the Angels, and
Yeah.
like there's just been guys that were really solid players, maybe not perennial all stars, but really solid players, and but good appeared to be good clubhouse guys that stayed with teams for longer periods of times. And I know money talks and everything else, walks, but the flip side is it feels like that would be really important to find, especially in a long season. Now, what else is really important to find? If you can have Paul Skeens, if you can have his number two, who's the number two for Pittsburgh that's so good?
Jared Jones. Jared Jones.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's the number one on probably 80% of every other staff, throughout the league.
Yeah,
But there's
he's
some,
good.
I don't know if the guns are pumped, but everybody that I've seen, or at least early on starter, was 95 to 98. And so you better be able to throw hard if you're a pitcher. You better have some good off speed if you're a pitcher. And I saw Paul Skeens. I don't know. You've probably seen him. And you may have looked like this. I don't think you were ever as thick as he was. But, man, he just looks like almost like a gorilla walking around.
He's so big.
I mean, he's just so big, but he's also thick in places. And it's like the way he moves is almost like a different animal, right?
He looks super athletic doing it.
Yes, super coordinated.
Yeah, like he could jump from the foul line into the dugout if he wanted to. Like he looks so strong and so athletic. And
one of the things I've seen him do a lot, and I don't know if he's getting paid to promote this. I don't think he is. Those water jugs. What's your thoughts on those?
I've seen it. And I'm not dug into it. I don't know conceptually or like what they really do for it. I can visualize and kind of understand, but I haven't dug in enough to really understand what those do. And I would imagine it's for core strength and getting through the ball, that sort of thing. But I don't really have an opinion on it. I can't say because I don't know what they do. But I'll dig into it. We'll talk about that as the season progresses.
I need you to help me.
We had a little bit of a local flair have a big day for the Orioles. Ced Mullins, 3 for 5, hit 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. But Ced was a Lewisburg junior college guy, so his only offer out of high school was Lewisburg Junior College, and then his only offer out of junior college was Campbell University here locally in Bowie's Creek. And then gets drafted out of Campbell and makes his way up and is a very, very productive big league outfielder. So big day for Ced. Brian, do you know other folks, guys you played with or saw that where they only had like one offer and made the absolute most of it?
Well, I think your memory is so much better than mine, but I can definitely remember playing with guys that were Southwest Missouri State and get drafted. And these JUCOs and get drafted and end up getting paid. Like I remember John Van Avery, who was a outfield prospect, who was I don't even know if he went. I don't know what the deal was with him. I think he went to some junior college. He got up for a cup of coffee with the Boston Red Sox, but had created such a thin body, very quick twitch, really could run, really could throw, very thin body, but created great bat speed with this little thin body. And but he was up with Cleveland, and I played with him in Mahoney Valley. And then he was behind me when I got hurt, and then passed, and then Rule 5, and then he got up with Boston for a minute. And you may have crossed paths with Jonathan. He would have been about your same time that you were.
Yeah, I remember the name. I want to say I saw him in Indianapolis. Let's see, he was in Akron in 05, so I remember seeing him there. That's the only time I crossed paths with him, Akron in 05. Yeah, I remember as soon as you said that, I was like, I thought it was Akron or Buffalo. I couldn't remember, but yeah.
Good kid, Mississippi kid. But dude, I would say the biggest takeaway from all of this is, and I see it even now with kids as our kids start to get older and they play against middle school and real velocity, you better keep getting better. And I think Ced Mullins, that's what I thought about when as you were saying that, like he just kept getting better.
Yeah.
Never be satisfied where you are. Never think you have arrived. And he clearly never did. And he just kept getting better. Because if they don't know what your ceiling is, even if they try to put one on you and you pass it, then it's somewhere else above that. And now you're, he's pretty much, he is a cornerstone with, I don't know what
he's a big league guy, yeah.
He's established. He's going to play for 10 or 12 years, can really run, can hit. can do a lot of things right.
So your boy John Van Every, from Fulton, Mississippi, or actually he's from Brandon, Mississippi, but the college he went to, Brian, Itawamba Community College
Yeah,
out of Fulton,
yeah,
Mississippi. So if you're a young man out there listening, trying to make your way to the big leagues, and you're getting recruited by a college, go to a college that wants you. Go to a college that's going to give you a chance, whether it's D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA. John Van Every wasn't a staple in the big leagues, but made it to the big leagues out of
yeah, yeah.
Itawamba Community College, right? So, and like Brian was just saying, keep working to improve and grow who you are as a player and grow who you are as a person. And Brian, I've got a story for you.
All right.
So my son, I think I shared with you, we watched that movie Electric State the other day. It was
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown. We liked it. Good movie. Kind of a fun little robot AI,
Futuristic, make you think a little
futuristic,
bit.
yeah, futuristic, but in the past, some cool,
Yeah.
cool like CGI. Anyway, so my son comes down a couple of days ago, and he's kind of bummed. He's like, Dad, like I'm looking at these reviews on YouTube and all, like nobody likes the movie, like they're crushing it. And I'm like who cares? I said, did you like it? He said, yeah, that was cool. I like it. I was like, I did too. So why do you care what other people think? Does it matter to you what that some idiot online? I said, Bubba, me and Coach Brian, we got a podcast and we talk about stuff. Does that mean we're always right or wrong? If he's
Does
like, no.
everybody like it?
Does
Surely
that
not.
probably
Yeah.
not, right? But a lot of 5-star reviews for the Wright Stew podcast, so I'll tell you that. But so I said, look, man, and then it reminded me of a story. So let's go back to sixth grade, Brian. Sixth grade,
Okay.
young Paul Stewart heading into sixth grade, and the day before school started, I was watching the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. Now, do you remember that? I think they
I
still
do. I've never been a huge awards show guy, but I
Okay.
appreciate that
It
you
was
were.
it was a Sunday afternoon, just kind of a lazy, day before school starts. You're just like, it's gonna hang out and watching the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. New Kids on the Block were performing, and they probably won a bunch of awards. I can't remember, but they're playing the song "Hanging Tough." Do you remember the song "Hanging Tough"?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Oh, hanging tough. I had missed the entire New Kids on the Block like thing going on. I didn't have a sister. My parents listened to oldies, so I listened to old. I love the
Didn't
Beatles.
have a girlfriend yet, maybe.
Didn't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies, they
Not
had
listening
older,
to the new kids.
they had older sisters. Were listening to like Vanilla Ice and stuff, like a lot of hip hop and rap and whatever. Anyway, go to school the next day, and you're catching up with your buddies that you haven't seen all summer, and you're talking and so I remember vivid like being in the hallway of North Carolina Middle School, and it's me and like three other guys, and we're sitting there talking, and I bring up the New Kids on the Block. I was like, "Hey man, how about them New Kids on the Block?" Because I heard that song. I was like, "Hey, tough, I'm all in." And the one guy goes, "Yeah, they're so gay." I was like, and it like crushed me because I wanted to like them.
How you liked them?
I liked them. I was like, yeah, they are.
You didn't know what they stood for. You just liked their music.
I didn't know anything about it. I liked the song, but I was like, but looking back now, like I should have like, well, like what? And I don't know their sexual preference. I don't know. Like
No,
they
no,
were,
no, no. And
they were
I
just
know you
using
weren't
it as a
referring to them.
derogatory term, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't,
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
encourage that, right? But that's what the little boy said to me in sixth grade, and I was like, yeah. And like I didn't have the courage or the gumption or the. So listen, if you're a young person listening to us right now, hey, be a nerd, man. Like what you like, right?
Well, I like have
Enjoy,
conviction. Have conviction.
have conviction in what you believe in. Again, as long as it's not harming somebody, right? Clearly, but have conviction, man. I fully embrace. I'm a baseball nerd, right? Like to me, that's cool. It's cool to be into stuff. It's cool to like stuff and have a passion for something. And if you're an adult or a parent listening to this, encourage your kids, encourage your students, encourage young people to find their passion and help them
Oh,
dive
that's good.
into it.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
good.
and encourage that, man. It's so
Hey,
cool.
I just want to jump in and
Yeah.
kind of piggyback off of what you're saying. But there's going to be a lot of naysayers no matter what you do. And no matter what your opinions are going to be, there's going to be people that poo poo it. And so your best thing is to hold true to your convictions. Whether you like something, don't like something, or into something. Dude, people will respect sincerity. People don't respect in the long term fake people or people that are just trying to follow trends. People respect sincerity and true conviction.
Yeah. And with that too, Brian, to your point, like things, don't like things. Keep an open mind and respect what other people like as well, right?
Yeah.
Don't crap on people just to crap on people. The internet's
Not in
full.
public, just behind their backs when
Yeah,
they're
just do it on the internet. No, it's stupid. Yeah. The internet's the best thing and the worst thing ever. But so that's Brian and I's public service announcement for the day. Go out, hey, find a passion, dive into it, love it, and just be fully engaged and invite others to your little world, man. And
I
that's
love it, dude.
hopefully that's what Brian and I are doing here. We're sharing our passion for baseball and sports and just life in general. And so hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast and we're enjoying bringing it to you. You know, Brian, I didn't know I love podcasting so much.
I told you, I knew you would. Number one,
Yeah.
you got good knowledge from a wide spectrum of topics, specifically baseball, but other things as well. And then your editing skills, I saw those with your family, dude. I mean, it's there. If you had more time, once this really takes off, right, and this is your full time gig and everything, we're just making vukus of cash.
Yeah.
Hey, people need to watch out.
Here's what we need from you, from the people now. Then help Brian and make this our full-time gig. Yeah, share this with some other people. Subscribe, get it out there. Let the people know. Yeah, Facebook's a good place to share it. Instagram, TikTok, word of mouth. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we back and forth. I feel like we're bagging a little bit. Hey,
No,
let's
we're
just
not that.
make
We're
it
just
good.
encouraging. We're encouraging. We're passionate about it, so we hope other people are passionate about it. And we've got some stickers. How about this? We've got a couple stickers. It's our old logo. Send me an email, Wright Stewart Podcast at gmail.com, and I'll send you a couple few stickers until I'm done with them. Wright Stewart Podcast at gmail.com. I'll send you a few stickers. You can slap them on. If you're in New York City, slap them on the subway. All right. If you're in high school, throw them on your locker. Yeah. So that'll be fun. So send us an email, Wright Stewart Podcast at gmail. Say I want a sticker, and I'll send it to you.
Hey, you need an address or something. Hey, we need an address.
Well, send me send an address with the thing. Yeah, clearly that's how letters work.
Hey, I was listening to the radio. I was listening to the radio today. Last night.
AM or FM?
FM. And the host was talking about his son, who's in college, didn't realize you had to pay for postage for anything. He just thought like Amazon, everything comes free, everything. Like I wonder, like hopefully I haven't raised kids that are just so naive to how the world works. Yeah. But I wonder what percentage of kids that are 19 and younger realize that, hey, every time there's a piece of mail, it costs money. And every time you receive a package, it costs somebody money to send it.
Yeah, that's it's interesting. So speaking of, I got one more story, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So I think I've shared with you. My mother-in-law passed away in November, really really terrible. And so my father-in-law, he brought back some letters that like I wrote and my wife wrote to them while we're in kind of the baseball world. I've got this is just a tiny little stack of it, but in the stack there were postcards. I mean, postcards from the places I was, and just I used to send postcards to everybody, just all over. I know my mom's got a stack. I don't know, but to your point, Brian, there's the stamps on the back, and
it costs you time, energy, money. You're making little notes. You've always been a very thoughtful guy, Paulie.
This is fun. Let's see. Here you go, dear Mills family. I'm still up in Canada for a few more days. I guess it's not that bad. The stuff here's a little more expensive, but there's nothing I can do about that. The people here are all nice, but there seems to be a lot of old people here. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I miss all of y'all and can't wait to see you again. It's called Old People Weird. Where was that? That was in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada.
How
Sorry,
old were you
Lethbridge.
there?
My
How old
bad.
were you?
I was either 17 or 18 in that one. In that was the Pioneer League. Let's see if there's a stamp on here. It's a Canadian stamp. I don't see a date, Brian, unfortunately. There's probably a date in one of these codes here, but yeah.
17 or 18. It's just interesting the thought process and the perspective at that age in a
Just
different country playing sports.
Yeah, just keeping up with folks. But all right. Well, we hope you all had an amazing opening day. We're excited and pumped to keep talking baseball. And you know what? Maybe we're going to mix in some NCAA basketball as well. It's March Madness still, so we'll talk that soon. But hey, make it a great Friday. Let's roll into this weekend, baby.
Out, go Pack.